Hey man, forget what y'all heard, but you don't with the Bronx. Unless, of course, you're an all-powerful undead creature of the night who sustained themselves for centuries on the life force of living beings, then I guess we may have a problem. What it is, what it do, it's the one and only Caped Informer, back in rare form for another Netflix movie review, and another pleasantly surprising project, may I add. Vampires vs. the Bronx is the title we are discussing today, and boy does this movie got heart. But before we do our standard deep dive into it, I'm going to have to turn your attention to my subscribe button. Just a little feature on YouTube that's going to allow you to see when I drop a new movie review, TV episode breakdown, a reaction, or just an all-out rant / commentary, and most importantly, keep you a certified member of my Informer Army.
Got to see it through, my boy.
Anyways, just when we were all under the impression that horror comedy peaked when Netflix dropped The Babysitter, they came out with this film which follows three young wide-eyed Bronx natives that in their fight to resist gentrification to their neighborhood end up going head-to-head with bloodsuckers. And no, not real estate developers, like real ones.
Vampires.
First and foremost, I have to give the utmost props to this movie for representing one of the most accurate portrayals of the Bronx, especially from a young minority's point of view, which couldn't have been made possible without the three talented youths that led this movie, those being Jaden Michael, who portrayed Miguel or Little Mayor, Gerald Jones as Bobby, and Gregory Diaz as Louise, also known as the Puerto Rican Harry Potter. All three of them were incredibly impactful in the roles, and while I haven't heard of any of them before this movie, please expect to see them again very soon. They were simply that good. They almost felt like the Bronx version of the cast of Stranger Things. You know, in fact, this whole movie kind of was like the Bronx version of Stranger Things. I might return to this theory later. What I'm saying is, on top of just raw talent, the kids had real chemistry. Like, you were under the impression that they've been real friends forever, and especially with child actors, they either have it or they don't, and these kids definitely had it. Anyways, apart from the kids, the supporting cast was also a delight and helped craft this very unique horror adventure. Everyone down from the parents of the kids, the neighborhood bullies, the neighborhood guys just hanging out on the block, the neighborhood dope boys, all the roles came together to create this super authentic New York atmosphere, which becomes suddenly disrupted by these uninvited guests that, in the predictable movie cliche, only the kids notice and see them first before having to find a way to convince the adults that they actually exist. This aspect was charming, as was the overall investigation into the company that seemed hell-bent on tearing apart their neighborhood. However, the actual horror element with the vampires invading their neighborhood, I want to say started out real strong and ended not so strong. Like, they put a lot of emphasis on making them legitimately intimidating and enigmatic for it to just get kind of campy at the end. Okay, let's put it this way. They started out like the daywalkers from Blade in the beginning of the movie to just kind of end up like those glittery dudes from Twilight. Which, I get, this movie was not intended to be some rated R horror, but just based on how they were introduced, you expected more. And then by the 8th or 9th time you encounter them in the scene, it's like, did you guys actually come to take over the Bronx or just look pretty in your little coats? Which is cool either way. Like, I was kind of feeling some of the outfits. But we're getting off topic. So yeah, the horror was a bit mid, but I must say the comedy portion was on point, and while its target audience will mostly be Gen Z, there's something for literally all ages to identify with and appreciate. And it's impressively balanced as well. Vampires vs. the Bronx does enough for you to want to take the characters and their lives seriously, while still being lightweight enough to see the endless humor in it all. All in all, do yourself a favor and give this one a look on Netflix. Horror fan, comedy fan, New Yorker, random dude that's bored on a weekend night, don't matter, there's something to enjoy in this for the whole fam. If you have seen it, I'm super curious about your thoughts, so go ahead and leave them in the comments below. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, give it a share if you're digging my content, and I'll of course see you all in my next one. Peace!